My name's Judy Harvin. I'm the owner of Focus Yoga Studio in Brookfield. I've developed a short sequence to help support good digestive health. So if you're feeling a little bit sluggish, if you feel like your digestion just isn't moving, this is a good practice for you. Now remember, if this is a chronic issue, come on into the studio. Ask your instructor about it. I'm certain that they may have additional poses to help. Speaking of instructors, if you're practicing at home, which I think you are, you don't have the benefit of an instructor to watch your alignment. So if anything doesn't feel right, if it feels too challenging, stop. Come on into the studio. We can help. We're practicing here at my farm today, so hopefully we'll be joined with lots of bird sounds and nice nature sounds to help make this a fun practice. Let's get started.
So we're going to begin on our hands and knees and have 2 blocks handy. Plant your hands firmly and begin to walk your knees back away from your hands. Continue to plant the hands firmly, and when your knees go back as far as they comfortably can, rest your forehead on the floor. Continue to press your hips away from your wrists. Now, relax your belly. You should feel a good stretch from the wrists to the hips, and if your belly's relaxed as you exhale, you'll feel a nice suction up towards the spine, and as you inhale, you'll feel the belly expand. This is going to create a massage effect. It's going to help massage the digestive organs. Continue to breathe here, keeping the belly relaxed. This is also a very good shoulder opener. And then slowly begin to lift up, walking the knees forward. Now come back to tabletop, and this time position your hands about 8 inches forward of your shoulders. Curl your toes under and lift up to downward facing dog. Now here, pedal your feet, just move. We call this walking the dog. Press one heel down, then press the other down. Lift up on your toes, press the heels down, back and forth, all the time keeping your ears aligned with your arms so you have a long line from wrists to hips. Bend the knees deeply. Any movements that feel good here. Imagine that you're a dog waking up from a nap. This should feel very nice. Then, as you inhale, look forward, and exhale, walk the feet forward to the hands. Now bring your hands to your knees. Inhale, lengthen your spine, and exhale, hands to the hips and all the way to standing. We're going to continue moving a quarter turn so that you're working along the length of your mat. Have 2 blocks in front of you. Step your feet about 4.5 feet apart and position them so that the outer edges of your feet are parallel with the outer edges of your mat. Inhale and lengthen the front body, and exhale and fold and place your hands on your blocks in front of you. Your spine should be parallel to the ground. Now, move your left hand a few inches towards center so that your hand on the block is right underneath your nose. Bring your right arm around and rest it on your sacrum. Relax the right shoulder. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, moving from the waist, rotate the heart to the right. Keep your right shoulder relaxed. You can move it a little bit to make certain you aren't gripping or creating any tension. Continue to inhale, lengthening, and exhaling, deepening the twist, working from the core. A few more breaths. Then take one more inhalation, and exhale, lower your hand to the block right where your left hand was. Bring your left hand around to your hips. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, revolve, revolving your heart towards the left. Keep your left shoulder relaxed. You can again move it a little bit to see if you're creating any tension there. Continue to inhale and lengthen, and exhale and rotate. All of this work is happening in the strong belly muscles. And on your next exhalation, lower your left hand right down to that block. We'll do this again. Sweep your right hand around, rest it on your sacrum. Inhale, lengthen the front body. Exhale, revolving from the waist. Turn your heart towards the right. Inhaling and lengthening. Exhaling, deepening the twist. Enlivening those core muscles, the obliques. On your next exhalation, lower your right hand back to the blocks, right underneath your nose, and bring your left hand around. Rest it on your hips. Inhale, lengthen the front body, and exhale, revolving from the core, keeping the upper back and shoulders relaxed. You might be feeling a little heat created in the belly here as we work, activating these core muscles, this third chakra. Exhale, lower the left hand back down to the blocks. So place your blocks once again directly under your shoulders. Lean forward and bring your heels a little together so your toes are pointing out. Bend your knees and take your left hand, then your right hand to the inner knee, and lift up. Position your shoulders over your hips. Now, a common error here is to let the hips stick out in the back. Instead, align the back of your head, your upper back, and your hips right underneath one another and draw your low belly in and up. Inhale, reach your arms up toward the sky, interlace and extend the index finger and thumb, and exhale to the right. Inhale and lift, and exhale to the left, creating lots of space in the core. Inhale and lift, and exhale, lower your hands back to the blocks. Now, begin to bend the right knee right over the center of the foot. Straighten your left knee and move your left block a little bit closer so it stays underneath your shoulder. Inhale and sweep your right arm up toward the sky. And exhale, lower your right hand down to that same block. Bend the left knee, straighten the right leg, and inhale, sweep the left arm up to the sky. Now we're going to move back and forth like this. Straighten the left leg, bend the right, sweep the right arm up, and then straighten the right leg, bend the left, sweep the left arm up. Again, working from the core, trying to keep the hips level. Move back and forth like this a few more times. A little bit more of a fluid, dynamic twist. Again, we're isolating energy in the belly, which is where we need to isolate it in order to enhance good digestion. Inhale as you lift the arm up, and exhale as you lower the hand back down. Then come back to center and begin to heel toe your feet closer together. Now your toes will still point out. Bring your feet to about hip distance, maybe a little wider, and lower your hips down between your heels. Now pause here if you need to create some sort of lift under the heels, perhaps a firm blanket or a rolled up mat so that your heels can rest solidly on something. Bring your elbows between your knees, pressing them back, and palms pressing together. Now just breathe here. This pose not only is a good hip opener, but it creates a very strong downward flow of energy, which, as you can imagine, is very good for digestion. Just a few more breaths. And then lower your hands to the ground behind you and come into a seated position now along the length of your mat. Come all the way down onto your back. Move any props out of the way. Your knees are bent. Your feet are flat on the floor, close to your hips. Open your arms straight out to the side, shoulder level. And then lift your hips and shift them 3 inches to the right. Lower your stacked knees to the left. Draw the knees up toward the left elbow. You can use your left hand to guide them. Try to keep your right shoulder on the floor, and if it doesn't want to stay there, then perhaps take a block underneath your knees. Maybe you need a little space between your knees and the ground so that your right shoulder can stay solidly on the ground and that you can completely relax. Another thing that you can do to deepen this twist is extend the top leg straight. So you can experiment with this as well. The idea is to create a deep twisting action in the belly, which supports good digestion. Breathe here. And then when you're ready, inhale, lift your knees up and rebalance your hips. Let's take that to the other side. So now shift your hips a few inches to the left and lower your knees to the right and up toward your right elbow. Again, try to keep the left shoulder on the floor. Use any props underneath the knees that you need to so that your core muscles can completely relax. And if you'd like to extend the top leg straight to deepen the twist, do that, but nothing should feel tense or uncomfortable. Breathe deeply into the belly here. And on an inhalation, lift your knees up towards the sky. And when you're ready, extend the legs straight. Bring your arms down a little bit closer to your sides. Have some space between your legs, between your arms and your body. and completely melt. This pose is called Shavasana. It's a relaxation pose. And sometimes when we're feeling stressed or anxious, this can affect our digestion. So allow yourself to relax here. Let your breath take on its own rhythm. Let your muscles soften. Let your body become heavy and sink a little deeper into your mat. Allow yourself to relax here in Shavasana for as long as you need. And when you're ready, you can come out and continue with your day. Thank you very much for sharing your time and your practice with me today. Namaste.